Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Rabbit Motorworks. Working some more on the Cutlass today. Getting into some other projects, painting things, cleaning up some rust. And today we're going to do some more work on getting a new alternator put on the car, troubleshooting some of the electrical challenges that I was having, and then we'll start dabbling into fixing that quarter panel. So stay tuned. So as we left off in the last episode, we were really focused in on trying to understand why our generator light was on. I did order another alternator. The differences were the pulley sizes, which then started to lean into, do I have the correct size belts for the car? And it sounds like I've got one belt, the alternator belt, that's the wrong size. So I got some of those that hopefully are coming in the mail today. But for now, let's get the alternator buttoned up. What I want to do before I start working on trying to clean up some of the wiring is I want to make sure that I've got an active charging circuit, as some of the wires were bypassed in the car. And I pulled together a schematic as well too, just to kind of clarify some of the actual wires, their intent, and being able to trace some of those. So with the schematic, the things that I'm seeing specifically is that someone has bypassed some of these main wires, replaced them with some of these blue wires. And what I want to do is actually do a voltage check for amperage loss on the conductors themselves and understand if there's anything wrong with those wires. So before I do all that, and before I start ripping apart more things, what I want to do is at least put the new alternator on to make sure that that's the actual root cause of the generator light. So let's do that and get it connected up, and we'll then start to see if we've got a working charging circuit. Okay, our friendly FedEx guy just dropped off our package from Rock Auto, and I got all the belts I was looking to get, so that's cool. And I've got upper and lower radiator hoses. I'm going to replace those too. This one's pretty spongy. It's not blown out in any areas, but it's just really soft in some key areas. Plus, actually, this thing is supposed to be hung up with a clamp here that I'm going to try to locate too. But it's been unclamped for so many years, so it's kind of taken form close to the fan and belts and everything else. But I've taken off the two belts already. I'm going to take off the third, and I'll switch out the rest of those. That'll give me the new belts I'm looking for, and then I'm going to get some heater hose as well too. Get rid of this kind of funky red. But and I've been kind of scuffing up some of the parts underneath the hood here with just a small wire brush, and I do have some valve cover gaskets, and we'll end up painting those, not paint these, but just clean them up and actually put new valve cover gaskets on. I got a new breather element and some of these other rock hard rubber breather parts as well. But this will allow us to at least test out this new alternator to see if we can get the generator light to go off. And then production line here, painting. Things are coming out really nice with the air cleaner. It's done with the primer. Now I put the first coat of a satin finish of Rust-Oleum on it, and it looks like it's taken really nice. So we'll let that sit for a little bit, and then we'll do some more painting on it. So continued work on trying to get the engine a little bit more brighter and then functioning as well too will be part of that. And after that, we're going to start digging into some of this wiring, so stay tuned. Okay guys, as you can see, I got the alternator back on. However, I'm not getting voltage, so start the car up here, and if you look, I am getting 12.7172 at the battery. I should be getting 14. So that new alternator has not solved the charging problem. So I'm assuming that's probably why somebody bypassed wires to try to troubleshoot or solve. This is an external voltage regulator system, which is this piece right here, and this looks somewhat shiny too, so this looks like it's been replaced as well. I don't know if that thing's gone bad or not. Maybe there's a way to test that, but I'm going to do some more studying and reading to try and figure out what the next thing to solve is, because yeah, with that brand new alternator we should be getting 14 volts at the battery, so there's got to be some other issue that is blocking that, and it could just be that voltage regulator, but let me see if I can figure a way to test that. You guys can see this now. I'm showing 15.6 volts. I don't know what I did. I wiggled some wires on the back side of the external voltage regulator. I fiddled with the connector on the alternator, and now it's charging. It's charging really well, in fact. Lots of voltage. So that's good. And the other thing is, the generator lights off in the cluster. So that's cool. So I don't know how I fixed it, but that tells me that those wires are suspect. And just like on the last video where I did the blower motor, getting the blower motor to work with jiggling the wires around, everything else tells me rust or corrosion in the terminals. So I'm going to try to do that, fix that, and now solve the wiring so that it's solid and solder those wires rather than use solderless connectors. So cool. All right, so let's work on trying to straighten out some of the wiring then, and we'll get on to other projects. Okay guys, apologies for the background noise. It's like a really windy day in LA here. The thing that we're going to do here with Junior is we're going to test for ohms, and you can see as I touch two of these electrodes together, or leads, it zeroes out. So what I want to do is I want to test out why these wires were cut and bypassed, which is part of the original harness. So here, Junior's going to hold the camera. So I can put this wire on the end of this here, and then this one on the end of this, and what do I got on the meter? Let's look at the meter.
You got 0, 0, 0, 0.
So technically there's nothing wrong with that wire and that circuit. So there's no reason why that needs to be bypassed. So I can technically reuse that. So now let's go through each one of these.
Yeah.
And let's go and test each one of these wires and see if we can get rid of this spaghetti blue wire bypass stuff and get it back to the original harness.
Yeah, because like if you say there's all these wires are not like for this tar, one of them is not for this tar. Some of them got cut off because maybe the owner did that.
Maybe. I think they were probably trying to troubleshoot the same problem I came across too. So we got the alternator charging. We tested that. I'm going to disconnect the battery for safety, and then I'm going to basically test out each one of these wires. And if they all are good, then if they're all good, then we're basically going to connect up the original harness and snip out all that blue stuff. So let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that. Get to it.
Okay, so we took off the voltage regulator and found some of these terminals kind of corroded. So I did hit it with a wire brush a little bit. They're not perfect. I think I'm going to do some more cleaning up on it. But that could happen, some issues there. Junior and I did a tag team effort, right, of testing the continuity. So like we tested the white one. You want to touch the white one with the black electrode?
Where's the white one?
Right here.
Oh, yeah.
So that's 0, 0. That's good. And then the blue wire. No, the blue end of the
This one?
No, it's got to be the conductor. The conductor is the copper part.
Yeah.
That's the red one. No, the blue one, you just had it. It's right here.
This one?
That one, yep. So touch the blue one. Hold it, 0, 0. So that's good. And then the final, the red one.
That, where's the one?
Right there. And that's 0, 0. So those have good flow. There's nothing wrong with those conductors. So this connector, which was bypassed, we're gonna fix. And we've got some of these fancy, yeah, solder
and
heat connectors.
And they're for cars.
Looks like they're called spooby.
And they're for cars,
motorcycles, boats, and homes. And it says easy. So we got our heat gun, and I got one of those fancy, I don't know, wire connector type things on it. So we're gonna try to fix those and fix the spaghetti-ness.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's like, it's kind of like a spaghetti scene where you're eating it, but there's so much in it.
Yeah, I call it spaghetti wiring because it's all blue.
Because why do we even have this much wire if we don't even know which one that does what?
That's right. So we're gonna fix that up right now. So
Yeah.
let's do that.
Ah.
Okay, so these are the connector. Here's a pretty good example between using a solderless connector and I guess a fangled soldered connector. So you can see it really replaces the size of the wire. And I've got a couple of them done now. You got to kind of hold the heat gun on it enough for it to melt the solder, and you can really see it starts to flow, and then it kind of goes to these little things here seal it up with the red. So it's a very watertight looking seal, that's for sure. So let's finish the rest of them. Hey guys, next day, and we did a lot of work yesterday on wiring. So I've gotten everything all kind of buttoned up, secured and wrapped all the wires, got the alternator situated. Actually bought a boot as well too for the alternator primary, and we'll button all that up once we get done changing valve cover gaskets. I changed and swapped out the blue distributor cap, so if anybody's looking for another cap, let me know. I've got a slightly used, almost brand new blue one if you want a Standard Motor Products one. So things are starting to look a little bit more tightened up, and it's got more of an original look to it now. So I think the other thing that we're going to start to do is do a little bit of motor cleanup and see if I can get some of this extra grease out of the top of the heads. I did get some of these other parts in from a subscriber who made a recommendation. I got a Wix breather filter. This thing's pretty clogged and that's ripped, and so I've got another one of those coming in the mail as well. Air cleaner's all painted up and put back together as well too, so that's good. Our new belts are on. I've got hoses. So we're continuing to make more progress on just trying to, I guess, put back some of the originality of the motor and get it to a better spot. Hey guys, so we started to get into a bit of body work. I got the fender up on sawhorses. Here's our patch panel that we don't actually need the entire panel, but the cool part is it's somewhat preformed. It's a bit crude in part of the pieces, but I think I'm only going to need to cut about yay much of it, and I'm kind of debating if I want to even take out the rest of this, because some of the edges are a lot different between the two. Some of the trim from the chrome was there. This is pretty chewed up, and as you can see, some of the inner there. We'll flip this over and take a look at it. But I have started to do some hammer and dolly work on this dent, and taken it out quite a bit and stretched the metal back, or shrink the metal actually. Okay, I'm just gonna hit this with some primers, just make sure we don't rust up here. So. I did shrink it a bit too with the sharp end of the hammer, so it's come back nicely. Okay, so now I gotta basically separate this out. I've started to kind of pull it up, and
Putty knife.
yeah, we're gonna use some putty knives to kind of get in and chop this away as best we can. So let's do that, should be fun.
Yeah.
Go. Okay guys, that's it, we got it off.
Yeah, that
Here's
piece.
the piece, yeah, all kinds of other rusty pieces. So, this is enough. We'll save this piece just to use it as a rough template.
And we'll use some of these pieces.
Yeah, so that'll get us close to it. So the bigger thing is this part right here. As you guys could probably see, it's missing a chunk right here. So there is a plate going across the top of this. And so that might be the thing to do, is to actually do the same thing and kind of create some kind of a plate and tack it onto this if I can find enough decent metal in this. But I'm more concerned with the outside part of that. So let's clean this up with a wire brush.
Yeah, do it.
Okay guys, so we got everything wire brushed. And ta-da!
What does it need some knotty on it right there?
Looks like it needs what?
Like some knotty over there because it's not smashed up right there. But that's fine. Put it for a few minutes.
Looks like it's pretty good. That'll work. So we get somewhat of a remnant of. We're gonna have to notch out the holes for the fender bolts, for one.
Yeah.
But it's there.
Yeah.
And then I think we'll have to put some holes in here so we can do some plug welds.
Yeah, put those in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay guys, I took this scrap here to mark off where we're gonna need to make some adjustments with the piece to fit it. So that's good. That's a rough template. Our other piece is ready, and I'll scuff that up. I did take this out and clean up the opening, got all the rust off of it, clean up the thing as well too. And then just to give you guys a little bit of a last view on the motor, there's our newly painted air cleaner. Our wiring's all coming together. The alternator's good. So a little bit at a time and we start getting there. But I think that's going to do it for us today, guys, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Lots of work on the car today, and we're definitely making good progress on that quarter panel, and I think the next video we're going to do some welding to weld the panel back on. And as they say, focus on one panel at a time, and so that's what we're going to be doing here. And I hope you guys, if you haven't subscribed already, consider subscribing. Follow us on Instagram, and
give the video a like and
give the video a like and a thumbs up. Yeah, for sure. Cool. All right, guys. See you next time. Peace.
bye. See you later.